typical game day, we start by cutting the grass in 2 different directions. The checkered patterns that are seen on television are caused by directional mowing. We have 2 reel mowers that have rollers in the front, blades like razors that flip forward, and then rollers in the back. So if you're going in a certain direction, the grass becomes light because you're bending it down to reflect light off the blades. And then if you're coming back in the opposite direction, it shows a darker stripe. Having patterns in the field accomplishes 2 things. Number 1, playability of the field, ball roll. If you're mowing from second to center, a ball may roll a little bit straighter if it's going down a pattern where it's not too much crisscrossing through it. Number 2, to give the grass a healthier cut. If we cut it in the same pass and the same pattern every single time, then that grass would start to grow sideways. At Oriole Park, we pretty much stick to 4 different grass patterns, and we're a traditional ballpark. We don't like to get too fancy with a lot of crazy designs in the outfield grass. People always try to ask, hey, do you grow the grass up high for a certain team that's in town? And the answer is no. At least at Oriole Park, it's no.
In the early years of baseball, the home field advantage was very literally a home field advantage.
In those days, you know, you raise lower the pitching mound, you tip the baselines, you know. We did a lot of things, you know, and when fast teams had good base stealers, we make it wet around first base or throw a lot of sand. The pitching mounds, you know, sometimes you psych people out.
You hear some of these really strange stories that maybe were true in the old guard of the old groundskeepers back in the early part of the last century. But the groundskeepers of today, and every groundskeeper I know of in Major League Baseball today, is really more concerned with making sure that that playing field is absolutely safe and true.
90% of our game is played on dirt surfaces, so it takes a lot of time to maintain it. You're spending probably about 4 hours out of your day on just maintaining the dirt. And they don't teach you that in school, so you have to learn that hands-on, working with it every day. We have to drag the infield dirt probably 3 different times throughout the day. The nail drag is pretty much a 5-foot board with 6-inch nails spiked through the board, and that's to take out any imperfections on the infield soil from cleats, holes made from balls, you know, whatever is out there. It kind of smooths everything out and roughs it up. And then we'll come back with a finishing drag, and that would be a matted drag. It's just made out of metal with little holes throughout that grab all the dirt areas but catch the bigger chunks. Our last drag is a cocoa mat drag. A cocoa mat drag is pretty much like a welcome mat, and we use that because it mats down a lot of the wet soil, so we could get out there and drag the infield if it's a little bit too wet for the metal drag. The warehouse is a huge focal point of Oriole Park at Camden Yards. At one time, Abraham Lincoln rode his train through here, so it's very historic to the Baltimore area. Our infield dirt color has to be blended to match the warehouse. We add 3 different colors of infield top dressing. We make sure that the mounds are taken care of and fixed properly.
When it comes to the pitcher's mound, of course, that's one of the bigger tasks because we dig it up every day. Every time we pitch on it, there's a big hole. And so she has to find the right clay and the right amount of moisture so that the mound holds up.
We make sure the home plate area is fixed to perfection. We'll make sure the infield dirt is dragged again and watered. You have your crew holding the hose for you so you can maneuver and focus on watering the dirt down for playability of the field. If it's too muddy, you risk player injury as far as turning an ankle, blowing a knee out. If it's true drive conditions, soil-wise, will make the ball bounce up a little bit harder. It's crucial for the game to make sure that everything is perfect at all times, because if a player gets a bad hop caused by an imperfection that you might have missed, then that's potentially injuring him for his career or causing a bad hop that could lose a game.